We're not going to be smoking. Okay? Maybe smoking these math problems. You know what I mean? Okay, so plan for tomorrow. Okay, plan for tomorrow. Okay, a lot of your friends are out for Kindness Day, so I need you to help them remember. Okay, your test over this review is on Monday. Tomorrow, you will have a review activity on your Chromebook. It will be for a grade, so bring your Chromebook. You can do it on your phone if your Chromebook's broken, but it'll be easier on your Chromebook because there's graphs, and you'll have to zoom in, and then sometimes people accidentally click the button. So just bring your Chromebook tomorrow. Your test is when? Monday. Good. Okay, ready? Yes? It's 20 questions. And most of them are the same equation. You're just doing wholes and VAs separately. Not the whole period. But I mean, depending on if you know how to factor, then just do it on your phone. That's fine. Okay? So look at number 16. Okay, we have this divided by this. A lot of people are getting confused when it looks like a big fraction. All that you need to do is this is the same as if it said this, x minus 1, you just put it on my desk, thank you, and then divide by, and then 9 over. Okay, so there were some like this on a quiz a while back. Okay? Okay, Taj, Arleth, ready? Okay, let's go. So, if it's written as a big fraction, it doesn't matter, it's just the top fraction divided by, and then the bottom fraction. Now, if it's a divide by, what do you have to do to the second fraction? Flip it. So I'm going to have blank times blank, and then I'm going to remember to flip that one. Okay? Now, the top one here, I'm going to put a little check. It's already done for you. Is there anything I can divide out of 2x minus 2? Yes. 2. Put a 2 in the front. What's left over when I GCF by 2? X minus 1. Perfect. Okay, then, normally my 9 would have been on top, but since it was a divide by, it goes to the bottom. Okay, then this part right here, I'm going to have to T-chart. So I need a negative 3 at the top. 1 times 3 is the only way to get to 3, but I need them to minus to be a positive 2. So minus on which one, the 1 or the 3? The 1. So it'll be x minus 1 and x plus 3. Okay, from here, you got to cross stuff out. Remember, okay, the ones that cancel out are the holes in the graph. Okay, so that's what your quiz is on tomorrow, is you're finding where the holes are, where the VAs are. So if these cross out, where would I say the hole will be in the graph? Positive 1. You remember you switched the sign? Okay, then from there, the VAs are any of the x's left over on the bottom. Now, I do have leftover x's, but they're on the top. Do they count? So you have none. Okay, do we want to do one more divided by, or do y'all think you got it? You think you got it? Okay, good. All right, yes? Okay, that's a good question. So you can only cancel out 1x minus 1 with 1x minus 1 on the bottom. The only way that you could cancel out another one is if you had another one on bottom to cancel with it. So I can't cross out all 3 of these. They go away in 2s. Okay? Good question. Then for your simplify, you just put whatever's left over. So x minus 1, x plus 3. And then you can leave the 2 and the 9 separate. I'm just going to make it an 18. Okay, but 2 times 9, you could leave that in separate pieces if you want. Okay? You are only flipping when it's what symbol in the middle? Divide by. Other than that, you're not flipping. Got it? Okay, turn the page. Okay, the next section, you are adding and subtracting. That is when you need a common denominator. So, take a look for me, please, at number 19. Do I need to fix number 19? No. Will I need to distribute, though?
No.
Yes. Here's why. Even though the denominators match, this counts as a minus 1. And so you are going to have to distribute that in here. So I'm going to have 9x plus 2 from the first one, and then minus 2x, and then what about minus 5? Plus 5. And then from there, I can combine like terms. Okay, so 9x minus 2x is 7x. 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay, but why was that one kind of easy? Because the bottom's already matched, right? You didn't have to fix anything. Not GCF, it'd be perfect squares. Yep. Okay, do we want to do one more from that section?
Yep.
Which one? 20?
Yeah.
Okay, because 20 doesn't already match. So I'm going to break this down as Jarrell said. This is perfect squares. So it'll be x plus 5 and x minus 5. Okay, second one is only an x plus 5. That means we're going to have to fix it. So I'm going to put an x minus 5 on top and on bottom.
I know.
Okay? Then from there, you don't know how to do it?
No, I do.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, then from there, I combine into one big fraction, a plus 5 and a minus 5. And then I have 2x here plus x times x, and then x times minus 5.
X squared negative 5x.
Perfect. And then if any of those guys can go together, you have to do it. Can any of them go together here?
What are the x?
Yeah. What's 2x minus 5x? Negative 3x. Now, somebody in my other class was saying, why can't I cross out the denominator? Remember, that's only if you're solving. If you're just adding or subtracting, you can't just cross it out like that. Okay? That's only if you're actually solving to get an answer. Okay?
Which ones are the typical songs?
Okay, good question. He said, how do I know if you're solving if it has an equal sign? So, like, look at the very next one down here. If it has an equals, that's where you can cross out the denominator on both sides. So let's just do 21. Okay, take a look at it. What can I factor out of the 3x plus 6 here?
3.
Okay, a 3. So I have 12x over 3 times, what's going to be left over?
Plus 2.
X plus 2. Okay, then I have plus x over x plus 2. Then I have 10 over 3. Okay, so on this one, in case you want to write it down, that was a GCF. We divided the bottom by 3. Okay, what does the middle fraction need? Yes, ma'am?
So how did you get the x plus 2?
Because we divided 3x by 3 to just get an x, and then 6 divided by 3 to get the 2. Okay? Then from there, the middle fraction, what are we putting on that fraction?
3.
3 on top, 3 on bottom. What does the fraction on the other side need?
X plus 2.
X plus 2 on top, x plus 2 on bottom. Okay? Then from there, all my bottoms match, so you can cross them out. But when you cross them out, you have to list what x is not allowed to equal. What number are we crossing out? Plus 2, so x can't be negative 2. And remember, the reason why is because that's going to make it extraneous if that comes out to be the answer. Okay, across the top, I have 12x plus 3x. And then I have equals, and then on that side, you're distributing. So 10 times x is 10x. What about 10 times 2?
20.
20. Drop your railroad tracks. If any of your terms can combine, you should do it. So look at your 12x and your 3x. They're already together. How many is that all together? 15x. Okay, from here we want to bring the baby to the mama. So which of your x's is smaller?
Minus 10.
Okay, take the 10x. Yep.
5x equals 2.
Okay. The 10x's here cross out. 15 minus 10 is going to be 5x left over. That equals 20. What's my last step?
Divide.
And x is
5.
close 4. Now, is that the number it wasn't supposed to be? Then it's not extraneous. It's your correct answer. Okay? Bless you. You want to what? There?
Oh, you did it at the top one?
No, I didn't do one of those top ones. But when we're done, I have the answer key up here. You can check it. Okay? All right, let's do a couple off the back, and then you'll have the rest of the class to work. Okay? Let's do we're gonna do 25, then we'll do 26. Okay? And actually, let's do 24. We'll just do these three, and then we'll be done. Let's do 24 though first, because it's easier. Okay, so how are you gonna break down the x squared minus 16? Square roots, very good. Square root. So it'll be,
4i24.
x plus 4, 4x minus 4. Leave a little bit of space, because you know you're gonna have to fix stuff. And then that's a plus and a minus 4 when you expand it.
Pardon this interruption, teachers and students. This is Ms. Cage. 9th and 10th grade students and teachers in particular. We are about to go down to the auditorium and have a wonderful experience with our Kindness Week speaker, Mr. Coker. And I'm going to ask you all to first off leave your belongings in your classroom because we have both
just gonna keep
9th
going.
and 10th
None of y'all are in that
grade
grade,
going
so.
down. We will be filling in every seat. So please do not skip seats. We will have about 1,400 of you in the auditorium, and we will have to fill in every seat. In addition, teachers, 9th and 10th grade teachers.
What can X
I'm
not
going to
equal?
ask if you come down with
4 or
and help
negative
us
4,
to
'cause you crossed it out.
actively monitor the auditorium.
It can't equal any of the numbers you cross out from the bottom. So if I cross out a minus 4, it's a plus 4. Cross out a plus 4, it's a minus 4.
We are going to be kind to one another. We're going to be kind to our.
So this would be
in our
x times x is
we are going to
X squared.
Okay,
actively
then,
participate
minus
in,
4x
the kindness
Plus
message
4x.
that he is going
plus
to
4x
give
plus
us
Plus
today.
16.
As a kind of bonus
Equals.
prize for
On this
your
side?
kindness that you're going to show to our speaker. If there are no issues in the auditorium, then we will have the opportunity to listen to music tomorrow during the passing period and during lunches. So as a reminder, 9th and 10th grade students.
what's negative 4 and plus 4?
Use 9th grade for some of
Cancel
our
out?
issue. Please remember to
So,
be kind. Remember that you are representing from the high
Yeah,
school.
right, who cares about that?
You are going to.
I'm actually going to minus the smaller one.
Our initiatives that we have and show our.
'Cause I don't want it to be
pride,
negative.
our kindness.
So then that'll cross out.
It'll be x
So
squared
at
equals
this
16.
time.
Okay. X squared is 16, then what?
Move to the auditorium.
Well, so square root, square
We're
root.
not going to the fishbowl. On the front doors to the auditorium. We are releasing.
So I
ninth
minus
grade
the x
students.
squared from the 2x squared. What's 2 minus 1? That would be a 1x squared left over. Okay? And then when you squared, it's not just 4, it's plus or
Minus.
minus 4, right? So it's both. But
that
then
means
go
you
back
get-
and think about what were your numbers not allowed to be?
4.
4 or negative 4. So both of those are ES's. Remember, that stands for extraneous. So if both of your answers were extraneous, that means there's no solution. Okay, because both of the solutions came out to not really be right. Okay?
What if it was just one of them?
Then you'd have an answer to be the other one. So like, if, let's say we got 4 and 10. Well, then 4 gets crossed out, but 10 is still good. Okay? All right, next one we're going to do is 25. Okay, I want you to factor the denominators here and here. They're both pretty easy. Neither one of them's T-chart. One of them's perfect squares, one of them's GCF.
2x plus minus 1. There it is.
Okay, for my first bottom, if it's x squared minus 1, square root, what is it?
X plus 1,
X plus 1 and x minus 1. Okay, on my second fraction, the 2 is over an x plus 1. That's already broken down for you. My 1 is only over a 2. That's already broken down. I am going to do that in a second. Yeah, I'm just going to rewrite it first. And then for my last one, if it's 2x minus 2, that's a GCF. What can I divide by?
X minus 1. 2, x minus 1.
2 and x minus 1. Okay, now look across the bottoms. They all have to match. So, what does this fraction have that I need to fix?
It needs a 2.
Okay, this one needs a 2, top and bottom. What does the middle fraction need? It needs two things.
X minus 1.
It needs an x minus 1 and it needs a 2. Okay, now it doesn't matter where you put it. I kind of snuck the 2 in on that side, the x minus 1 there. Okay, now this one has the 2, but what does it not have?
X plus 1, X minus 1.
The x plus 1 or the x minus 1. It's missing both. Now, does it have the 2 though? Yes. And then for my last one, I have the 2, I have the x minus 1, but I need the x plus 1. Now, look across the bottoms. All of them have a 2. All of them have an x plus 1. All of them have an x minus 1, so we can cancel out. What is x not allowed to be though?
Positive 1.
Negative 1 or positive 1. Good. Can't be either one of those. Now, the 2, remember, 2 doesn't matter because it doesn't have an x with it. Okay? So, let's write what we have across the top. From here, what's 2 times x? 2x. Now, on this next one, instead of having a 2 times 2, what's that the same as? This is really just a 4. So, let's do 4 times x, then 4 times minus 1. What would I get there?
4x negative 4.
4x minus 4. Okay, equals. Then I get to here. What method am I going to need on that? Double. X times x is x squared. X times minus 1 is minus 1x. Then plus 1 times x is a plus 1x. Plus 1 times minus 1 is a minus 1x. Okay, then on my last fraction, I'll have to distribute. And then look, watch what happens. A bunch of this stuff ends up crossing out with each other. So 1 times x is 1x, 1 times 1 is 1. Look on the right side. What's going to cross out? You see the negative 1 and the plus 1x? Gone. Do you see, oh, one of these is wrong. It's this one. It shouldn't have an x on it.
That top, don't you have to distribute the 2?
So it was 2 times 2, so I just distributed a 4 instead. Okay. And so then from here, look, I had an x on this, but it should have just been 1 times minus 1. So it's really just a minus 1. Then what else can cross out?
Negative 1 plus 1.
Negative 1 and plus 1. So look, watch. Once all 4 of those are gone, we don't have as much stuff. So 2x and 4x makes how many? 6x minus 4. And then I have x squared, gone, 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 plus 1x. Now, what method are you going to need to solve if there's an x squared? It's not going to come out to be perfect squares. We're going to have to t-chart. Okay, so I'm going to minus my 6x across. Remember, you can only t-chart when all your stuff is together. So I have x squared. What is plus 1x minus 6x?
Negative 5.
Okay, and then I'm going to take my minus 4, bloop, pull it across. Now it's a plus 4. And now that all of your stuff is together, you can do your t-chart.
1 and 4.
1 times 4, good. Now I need them to add to minus 5, though.
So both of them are
Both negative, good. Then I put them over x. X minus 1, x minus 4. Which means what are my solutions?
Positive 1.
Positive 1, positive 4. Then look back at your not allowed to be equal to's. Is any of those not allowed to be equal?
1.
Look, 1's right here. That means 1 gets crossed out. It's an ES. Okay?
I don't get how you get an ES cycle.
So whatever you crossed out from the bottom, like I crossed out a 1, if you crossed out an x minus 1, it's an ES. So if you crossed out off the bottom, the opposite of that number, then it's not allowed to be the answer. Okay? Do we want to do number 26, or y'all good? Do it?
Do it.
Is that Kiddis? Or who is that? We turn that off? Okay, I am going to do it, but I write too big, so I'm just going to get another sheet of paper. Okay, but we'll do 26 right now. So, T-chart the bottom of that.
I haven't turned on the video.
Okay, T-chart the bottom of that. It's 3 over something plus b minus 1 over b plus 2. 7 over b plus 3. Okay, so when you're looking at the bottom here, I need numbers that
10th
multiply.
grade, you can be released at this time. 10th grade, to be released at this time.
Okay, I need them to multiply to 6 and add to 5. What could I pick? 3 and 2. Very good. Divide them both by x. It's a b plus 2. Okay, hello. Can you please turn it off? Okay, b plus 2 and then b plus 3. Okay, where are we going to have to fix? Okay, b plus 2, what does it need? A b plus 3. Top and bottom. And then on my b plus 3 term, it's going to need a b plus 2. Okay, then when you look across the bottom, as long as they all match, you can cancel them out. But what is b not allowed to be equal to? Whatever I cross out. Can't be a -2 or a -3. Those are both out. So if that is the answer, it will be extraneous. Okay, now let's just do the tops that are left over. So I have 3 plus, and then this is going to be a double distribute. B times b is b squared. B times 3 is a 3b. -1 times b is a -1b. -1 times 3 is a -3. Equals. Other side, what are we distributing? The 7. 7 times b is 7b. 7 times 2 is 14. Then from there, drop your railroad tracks, combine whatever's already on the same side, and then you'll have to cancel stuff out. So I have a 3b and a -1b. How many are going to be left over? That's going to be a 2b. And then if I have a 3 and a -3, what's going to happen there? Cancel out. Okay, 3 minus 3 is just 0, so I'm going to cancel it out. Then on the other side, I still have a 7b and a 14. Got to move those over. How do you undo a positive 7b? Subtract it. What's 2b minus 7b? Okay, kiddos, come on, dude. So annoying. Okay, minus 5b, and then if it's a plus 14, I'm just going to move that over to be a minus 14. Now notice, why can I just move the 14? Because there's not a number on the other side that it has to combine with. Okay, its spot is kind of like open, if you will. Okay, then from there, set up your T-chart. -14 at the top, how can I get 14? 7 and 2, so 2 times 7. Now if I want to get a -5 in the middle, I'm going to put the minus on the 7. Divide by b, since that's the letter here. It's a b plus 2 and a b minus 7. Which means, what are my two answers? -2 and positive 7. Are either of those not allowed to be the answer? Okay, look right here. B is not allowed to be -2, so you'd have to cross it out, ES it. Okay? Okay, just to make sure that you know how to do what we learned yesterday, turn to the very front. I'm going to do one of those graphing just to make sure that we got it, because that is on your little thing tomorrow. So if I was doing number 1, how would I shift?
Do you have a big eraser?
How would I shift number 1? Which directions? To the right 5, so over 5 and then up 3. So over 5, up 3, 5, 3 is here. Then do you remember you do your plus sign? Those are your asymptotes. One goes across, one goes up and down. And then remember that your graph is going to be in the corners. So it'll be up here in this corner, and it'll be down here in this corner. What's the only thing that would make you switch corners? If there was a negative, then you'd be in the opposite ones. Okay, then your HA is this one. How high is my HA here? How high is it? What number does it go through? 3. And then my VA is this one. And my VA is x equals 5. Then remember, if you forget your HA, that's your HOI. So that's how you can remember that it's a y equals. And then VOX is x equals. Okay, then remember that your domain, since your graph is in 2 pieces, it's -infinity to 5, 5 to infinity. And remember, it has to be written in 2 parts because that dotted line, that asymptote, breaks your graph up to where you can't do it all together. Okay, then your range is broken up around whatever the y is. So if my y is a 3, I would go negative infinity to 3, and then 3 to infinity. Okay? Number 2, sketch your graph. If it's a -4, which way are we going? To the right 4. And then if there's not a number at the back you can think about, that's like a +0. So I would just go right there. And then remember, one of your lines is flat across, one of your lines is up and down. And then remember, unless there's a negative, you're in that top right corner, that bottom left corner. So it'll be here and here. And you should be getting close to those asymptotes, those blue lines, but you shouldn't cross them because they're asymptotes. Okay, then remember that your HA is the flat one, your VA is the vertical one. So if I wanted this HA, how low is it if it didn't move up or down? It would be 0. And then my VA is going to be 4. Okay? So remember the difference there. My HA is my flat line, my VA is my vertical line. Then remember, your domain, it's the X that goes in the middle. Your range, it's the Y that goes in the middle. Okay? All right, good. Then on 3 and 4, hopefully you remember, if it's an X plus 2, which way does that shift your graph? So then what would X equal? -2. Okay, what about if there's a +7? That's going to move your graph up 7, so it would be Y equals 7. Remember that up and down changes your Y, side to side changes your X. Now, when you look at number 4, the -10 shifts it how? Down 10, that'd be Y equals -10. Does this negative move the graph sideways? What does it do to it? It flips it. So your X here would still be 0. That negative will reflect the graph, but it doesn't actually shift it either direction. So that negative is going to flip the graph, but it doesn't actually move it sideways at all. Okay? Alright, you have about 20 minutes. If you have any questions, you can ask me for help. Tomorrow you have a review activity. Your test is on Monday. Okay? Good job. Yes.